Welcome back, Shalligators. I know, we're just on a video spree this week. You know, I've really missed doing YouTube videos. I've been focusing so much on the Shalontrage and trips and everything. We gotta get back to like what we do around here, which is ranting on YouTube on the internet. So I'm going to endeavor to do a lot more videos for you guys. I won't make like specific promises, but I'm gonna try to do 2 a week, which is not crazy. I can do this. I have no real life. Anyway, is it today Christmas? Is today December 25th? Because it feels like Christmas. Because truly the greatest gift any of us could receive has arrived. Blake Lively is trying to blackmail Taylor Swift. Am I hallucinating? Am I hallucinating? This is a dream come true for us because it is so off the fucking deep end. At this point, Blake Lively has one option, is to simply plead insanity. She should get before whatever judge. I don't know if you can plead insanity in a civil court case. Blake, you might want to try it because you are unhinged for doing this. And it would be true. She'd be like, Your Honor, I am ungovernable. I need to be in a conservatorship. Take my kids away from me. Make me wear slides and things with no metal so I can't hurt myself. You don't believe me? Here's how I'm going to tell you I'm insane. I am trying to extort Taylor Swift, a Sagittarius. Need I say more? Probably, but whatever. So here's what's going on. Justin Baldoni's legal team just filed something and was like, hey, yo, we have some evidence from a highly reliable source that Blake told Taylor Swift to release a statement. Bitch, you release a statement supporting me in this Justin Baldoni fiasco, or I'm going to leak your text messages. Who could have given that information to Justin Baldoni's team? Obviously, it's Taylor herself. Who else would it possibly be? Wow. And apparently, like, there had been like legal action between Taylor and Blake about this request and the threat of leaking the text messages between their lawyers already. Like, this was already a thing. If I'm reading this correctly, if you're a lawyer and if you've read this, maybe I have this wrong, but the way it reads to me is that Blake kind of issued this statement to Taylor's legal team. Hey, she needs to come out and say something or I'm going to leak some fucking text messages. And her legal team is like, are you on drugs right now? Are you on drugs right now? Like, do you need some cheese? Is your blood sugar low? What is fucking... You cannot possibly be serious with this. And apparently Blake was like, I'm completely serious. And so Taylor, I would assume Justin's source is Taylor. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. And guess the fuck what, Blake? When you threaten someone, you become their enemy. And also, how desperate. Like, if I have the truth on my side about something, right? If I was genuinely being harassed or maligned or whatever it is, I wouldn't need anyone else to stand up in my support. I mean, of course, you want that. You want that. What do they say about the truth? The truth is like a lion. Set it free and you don't have to defend it. It defends itself. Blake's truth is not a lion. She has not unleashed a lion. She has unleashed, I don't know, a swarm of mosquitoes. I don't know, something dumb and annoying, but easily dispatched. Easily enough dispatched. This metaphor has gotten away from me. The last thing I would need to do if I had the truth on my side is extort my friends. Let's put an underscore, an underline under that. If that friend was arguably one of the most powerful celebrities in the world, if not like the most powerful, and your plan is to blackmail this person. Once upon a time, I worked for a company. Which company? Who knows? I don't remember. And they had this incredible idea to blackmail one of the richest men on planet Earth who runs a company where you online shop. What's his name? Gosh, I don't remember either. They had a plan, allegedly, not like I was in the meetings or anything and heard this firsthand, to publish this man's nudes. unless he did XYZ. I genuinely don't remember what the threat, like what they wanted, but they wanted something and it had to do with politics. Perhaps someone who is currently in office. And I looked at them and I said, you can't possibly be serious. Oh yeah, we're serious. He's gonna give us what he wants. He doesn't want his nudes published in a magazine. I said, first of all, you can't publish nudes in a magazine, by the way. It's like not legal. So right there, like the simplest of Google searches would tell this victim of yours that this threat is mostly toothless. He is one of the richest men in the world. You think he cannot figure this out? Or there's no one around him who can figure this out for him? I figured it out. I'm an idiot. Number two, the richest, most powerful man, one of, on the planet. You think he's afraid of his dick? Also, I bet it's a nice one. I'm looking at the rest of his body. Third, I said, I bet you guys don't even have those photos, do you? They told me to leave the meeting. What's my point? Blackmail is not exactly the magic bullet people think it is. So today in this video, we're going to talk about what to do if someone is threatening you. And look, maybe you're not Taylor Swift, maybe you're not that other person. And by the way, do you know what his response was? Fucking publish them. Publish them, go fuck yourselves. I don't care. I don't care. We're going to talk about what to do if someone's threatening you. Because yeah, you might not be these famous pop stars, this world-renowned businessman. Doesn't matter. You don't have to be. When someone is threatening you, I know what it's like. It's happened to me twice. I've had two women. Yeah, women. It's never been men. It's never been men who've done this shit. It's women. It's sneaky ass, turncoat fucking women slithering around in the shadows. Sorry, not that men never do it, but my personal experience has been with women. I've had two people try to do this to me. And I will tell you exactly what I did to them. And I will tell you how to handle these threats, okay? And by the way, I'm the woman who does Evil Week, okay? So my advice is a little no bullshit. So here's a little word bank of things you're not going to hear in this video. Forgiveness, heart to heart, apology. No. I'm going to tell you what actually works, not the live, laugh, love version, okay? But before we get started, if you're going through something, you need a girl gang around you and you feel completely alone, you are not alone. You have me, you have the Shalon. Come and join us. It is a place where alpha females can come together. Because listen, dude, it's lonely being a woman like us. Hot, glam, ambitious, fierce, thinking a little bit bigger than the people around you and drawing a lot of criticism and a lot of just like bad energy because of that. Maybe you're in a small town, but you're dreaming real big. Or maybe everything's fine. You just really want some friends. Come dive into the Shalon. Get on the group chats. We've got 30 of them. I give you 5 videos a week, deep advice dives. I get super messy. I rant. I cry. I talk about my enemies by name and I put their Instagrams in there so everyone can shred them. Because don't fuck with the YouTuber. You never know what I'm capable of, okay? Also, yes, come on my 2 new trips, south of France in September, and we're going to Italy in November. Oh, a big question I get about my trips is like, well, what's the ages? Like, what's the age range? Am I gonna be too old? Am I gonna be too young? The answer to any of that is no. You're not gonna be too old or too young. I have noticed that on these trips, first of all, we've had girls from 22 to 62 on one trip, and those two bonded the hardest. These trips, like, they're age agnostic. You get on the trip and it truly never occurs to you what age anyone else is. You are vibing and bonding on such a soul level. True sisterhood transcends age. So don't feel like you would be an outlier. I promise you, you would not be. Oh, Taylor and Blake, all right. Blackmailing Taylor Swift. Do we need a reminder of who Taylor Swift is? She's a woman who would wear this. You think this woman is afraid of anything? She's not afraid of putting this outfit together and going someplace. And Blake, are you okay? When I was thinking about this, because I'm like, oh my God, what could someone blackmail me with? I think we think about kind of maybe like 2 things, right? Nudes, like something sexual. Ostensibly your friends wouldn't have that. I don't know, they might. That's probably gonna come from a guy, right? What your friends would blackmail you with are the text messages where you are unhinged. like you're talking mad shit about one of your friends, or you are saying things that are so insanely politically incorrect, that like we would have to launch you into space because you're not fit for planet Earth anymore. That's like what that are the horrors that lie within our text message. I mean, at least mine, you know, we're unfiltered. We're with our best friends. For Blake to threaten this or even imply that she would do this to her friend. Like Blake, hey, if you're watching, girl, which I bet you are, you fucking narcissist. Do you understand how radioactive you just became to any other friend in your orbit? Like, did you think about that? First of all, you are radioactive in Hollywood. Like, no director ever wants to work with you because what, you're gonna skew them as sexually abusive? No fucking thank you. You're not gonna get cast in anything. You know why you're also not gonna get cast? You're not a very good actress and you're not a very big star. It's not like, well, we can't scorch Meryl Streep, like she's a national treasure. No one fucking cares about you. You are easily shuffled into oblivion. No big deal, right? But now even you're radioactive to friends. So you're gonna do that to the biggest dog in the yard. What the fuck would you do to me, to little old me? So congratulations, Blake. Amazing. Like, I mean, everyone just take, wherever you're at, just like, you know, take your hat off, really like give thanks, take a knee if it feels appropriate, and give thanks to a dumb, sad bitch move like this, because it truly, we might never see something like this again from a celebrity in Hollywood. This could be like a Halley's Comet, like a eclipse with a double rainbow on leap year. It feels something like that, something so insanely rare in its insanity. For someone to do something like this. And it should be noted that like the reason Justin is taking this to the judge and adding this to his filing is because he's saying, look, this is proof of how full of baloney Blake Lively is. She's coercing witnesses. Witness tampering? I mean, the courts really don't like this. If you're a lawyer, can you tell me, like, obviously this is a civil case, meaning it's not a criminal thing. You know, no one's arrested. They're not committing a crime. Well, are they? I don't know. This is what I would love to know. And like, if I know witness tampering in like a criminal case is a criminal offense, right? But doing it in a civil case, can that lead to a criminal offense? Like, is there crossover? I don't know. Tell us, if you were Blake's lawyer, if you were Taylor's lawyer, if you were Justin's lawyer, what would you do? Besides, if you were everyone but Blake's team, would you just be like, wee, like, that's the best fucking day of my life? I also think that like a big fuck you to Taylor in this whole thing was Blake assuming no one will have Taylor's back when they find out she's being extorted. And like, what on earth would keep Taylor quiet from going public with this? It's also a fuck you to Taylor that Blake would assume that whatever she would leak, people would, number one, carte blanche believe. I mean, how hard is it to fake text, right? Even if she leaked something, first of all, we already know she's a fake text leaker. She did that with Justin earlier in this whole case, right? Like she was omitting certain things, like doctoring the text. So she already has precedent for releasing absolute horseshit as evidence. So now she's gonna come out against someone who is so universally beloved. I know if you're like, I don't love Taylor, but you know what I mean. Her fandom is like mega, mega, mega. And she's really like generally unproblematic, you know? She really is. Like, would I wanna date her? No, but like, she pays people fairly, she shows up on time, she's gracious. Like, come on, as people go, Taylor's really like, she's not that bad. We know that beneath the surface, she's a fucking psychopath, but she moves through the world in a polite way, like kind of all you can ask for from someone who's like a snake under there. It's crazy to me that Blake believes anyone would believe that these texts would, number one, be real. Her fans would be like, that's fake. She made that on Canva. That's not real. And number two, even if like it was proven they're 100% real, that people still would not be giving her the benefit of the doubt. This is called confirmation bias. When you really love someone or something, you can't tell them nothing. You can't tell them nothing. We see this in politics. Like, you know who started locking people in cages at the border? Barack Obama, the great deporter. That's what they called him. You tell that to any ultra liberal who's obsessed with Barack, and it's like, well, he must have had his reasons. But Trump does it, and it's like, bah! Like they're gonna set their hair on fire. That is an example of confirmation bias. It works in both directions. It's not a Barack Trump thing. That's just how it works. Her fandom, the obsession with Taylor, makes any sort of political allegiance you have look like peanuts in comparison, baloney in comparison. Her fans would be like, I actually don't care if she made a racist joke. I don't care if she said light all of this sector of people on fire. I don't care. She must have had her reasons. And actually, maybe that's a great idea. Oh, she said Hitler had some good decision? Maybe. You never know. Her fandom might pull up and be like, yeah, no, actually, I agree with that. I also believe Taylor is way too fucking smart to say stuff like that over text. So in my mind, whatever Blake would release would probably be like a big nothing burger. I bet it would be more like, I still miss Jake Gyllenhaal. Or God, that movie was bad. I hated the last Mission Impossible. Things were like, okay, maybe a celebrity shouldn't say that, but in the grand scheme of I am going to blackmail you. I'm going to threaten you with extortion. I'm going to extort you. At great risk to me, the extorter, the blackmailer. And I'm going to take this risk to let people know you were still talking to Joe Alwyn when you and Travis were already dating. It's a bad return on investment. Just for, hey, if you're a potential criminal out there, the juice has got to be worth the squeeze. You know what I mean? And I think Blake, so like these are the ways that it could play out for Blake in like a positive way. Like the best case scenario is Taylor doesn't comply, you release these texts, people either don't believe it, they're still in her corner, they feel sorry for her because they, like so many of us, have had someone threaten them at some point, or they're afraid that, oh my God, I would die if someone got a hold of my text messages. Taylor actually sounds better than I do. So they're going to give her the benefit of the doubt. This is, again, best case for you, Blake. Best. But what is the worst case scenario? All you have done is awaken a sleeping giant. Like, that's all you've done. And you know, I have always felt such a kinship with Taylor because we are girls. I mean, we are, but we are fucking bullies if you come at us wrong. And I think Taylor, if you are into human design, I don't know if you are, Taylor's a projector, and so am I. And if you're a projector, you're like, I get it. By the way, if you want a human design reading, it's sort of like brain chemistry meets astrology. I love it. Book 1 with my bestie, Anna Lacombe. She's fantastic. And she tells you how to use all this information to like guide your career or shape your relationships or even just like make friends. It's just very like illuminating about how you're hardwired and you're like, oh, so it's kind of like go down this path. Anyway, she's great. Yeah, big bully energy. I channel my bully energy here on YouTube where I'm like, do this, listen to me. Like it's an energy of like influence and power, right? Obviously gone in a bad direction. You're a bully. You're shoving people into lockers and dumping water on their heads in the cafeteria. It's bad. It's really bad. Taylor, I believe, is the same way. She channels that into creation and ascension and achievement. But we also see Taylor going weird bully, like releasing some new version of some bullshit song so Sabrina Carpenter can't be at the top of the charts, right? We see that. Her victim narrative is also part of the bully energy. I have my own victim narrative that I really work hard to tackle because victims become bullies. That's the thing. When you feel hurt and wronged, you feel entitled to lash out and make them pay and do all of this stuff. And if you are already maybe hardwired to be a little bit more ruthless than the rest, and then someone like Blake Lively comes along and she just gives you a reason. Oh, what a gift. What a fucking gift. I love it, honestly, when people try me. I do. It's stressful, of course. Spikes your cortisol, ruins your day. I love this shit. I am a warrior inside. I love war. I love destruction because it's like I can unfurl this leather-winged beast that's inside me. Let's fucking go. Especially when I have the righteous truth on my side. I see a lot of that in Taylor. I see a lot of that in her, and good for her, yeah. So I would assume that someone like Blake would also see that in Taylor. Hey, I know exactly what she's capable of. She's the godmother to my children. That's how close we are. So fucked up. Can you imagine extorting the godmother to your child? It's disgusting. Blake, you're disgusting. You're trash. You're just trash, all right? Trash. If Blake didn't see that, wow. We're gonna do a whole other video on what to do when a friend betrays you, but this is about blackmail, right? Because friend betrayal doesn't always lead to blackmail, vice versa. How do you deal with a blackmailer? Well, like I said, I've been down this road, okay? And the first time my ex-boyfriend was cheating on me, and the girl he was cheating with, I didn't know this, and he finally had to come clean because she had backed him into a corner and was like, if you don't tell Shalon and leave her for me, I am going to make a YouTube video just destroying her and sharing everything that's been going on between you and I. And I looked at him in the eye and I said, this is a threat to you? Please tell me you don't believe this. Is she a YouTube creator? Is she bigger than me? He's like, no, she doesn't have a channel. I said, so let me get this straight. You're not only a cheater, you're this fucking stupid that you are threatened by a threat for a nobody to scream into the abyss on a channel with no followers and say what? And say what? I've been fucking Shallon's boyfriend, and you think that that's gonna make her look good and hurt me? But I was so annoyed. She kept coming after me. And because he wasn't giving her what she wanted. Like, he wasn't gonna be with her. I broke up with him. He wasn't like, I've chosen Katrina Von Sutphin over you, Shallon. And so I was like, you sit your bitch ass down. I will deal with this. So I reached out and I said, publish whatever the fuck you want. Publish whatever you want. Do you want some sexy pictures of me? You know, you need some graphics on a YouTube video. I'll send some. They're not nudes. They look great. They look great. I would love to know who your audience of 0 is going to be. Like, who is this for? And she just kept making threats, and then they got violent. The threats got violent, and so I took matters into my own hands. Turns out there was a high-priced escort with her exact name who looked enough like her, and I had my development team skin that website, like basically just like take that hooker's website, and I bought this girl's domain name. I love to do this when someone threatens me. It's a great move for an enemy. Buy their name, right? Like KatrinaVon.com. Buy it. Buy any permutation, buy their family members' names, buy their children's names if they have it. Shallon, you ain't got to bring the goddamn kids into this. Let me tell you something. There's no such thing as fighting dirty. There's just fighting. Anyone who says you're fighting dirty is losing. The winning team never says that. They never say that. And remember, this is war. And it's not a war that you started. So are you gonna fucking defend yourself like your life depended on it or not? Remember the words you weren't gonna hear? Yeah, forgiveness, heart to heart, I'm sorry. Grow up. Grow up, right? These people are bullies. And bullies only respond to strength. Let me say that again. Bullies only respond to strength. Okay? And you have to show that you are stronger. Not just stronger, but crazier. There's an old saying, in a fight, who wins? The smart man or the crazy man? And the answer is the crazy man. Your response has to be so over the top crazy that they are afraid to ever attack you again. Ever. And I'm not saying this has to be absolute first position. Like if your boss is asking you to work late or someone fucks up an invoice, you don't need to be like, I'm gonna dox your whole family. Like, you don't need to go that hard. But when you're backed into a corner, you need to have the wisdom to understand, hey, diplomacy has now failed us. Hey, I'm coming girl to girl. I didn't know about you. You didn't know about me. Go fuck yourself, all right? You want a war? you've got a war. When I was in ROTC, I say this all the time. This is what they drilled into us. You must always evaluate, what does your enemy want? Peace or victory? They are 100% the opposite. If you're both after peace, the solution presents itself relatively easily, generally with not a lot of bloodshed. If you want peace, but they want victory, you're Poland, you just want to be left alone. Here comes Hitler and the German army. He doesn't want peace, he wants victory. You have to understand that instantly and be like, all right, peace is not an option. Peace is not an option. The only way we will achieve peace is by defeating the people who are after victory. So, my development team skinned that prostitute's website. I put it onto the domain name that I bought of this bitch's name, right? Turns out she worked for the government in DC. I sent them that. I'm like, just to let you know what your employees are up to. Maybe I made up some fake text messages. I don't know. I ruined her fucking life. And I'll do it over and over and over again if someone tries to start shit with me. And that's like the tip of the iceberg, honestly. That's just what I'm willing to share in public. Another girl, this was during COVID. This is, during lockdown. I don't even remember her name, but she was in India. That's relevant. It will come up in a second. She was like a fan who had reached out to me and was like trying to defend me, like while people were canceling me and whatever. And I was like very grateful for that support. And I realize now, she would send me these screenshots of her like arguing with haters. And finally I was like, please don't send me these screenshots. Like, they're just upsetting. Like, I appreciate you doing this, but it's just like upsetting to see what people are saying. Your mom should have had an abortion. I didn't need to hear that. You know, I'm trying to like put this like in a compartment and just move on with my life. These people are losers. I realize now she was both of these accounts. The hater, that was her. She was arguing with herself with like burner dummy accounts. Then she says, because we've been like chit-chatting, we became friends. One day she's like, if you don't pay me $10,000, I'm going to release your text messages, our text messages between us. I have 3 other interested parties who are willing to pay me this much for our correspondence. I said, really? Correspondence about what? You know what we were talking about? Our moms. She has a difficult mom. I don't have a difficult mom, but I was still like, yeah, like I get it, family issues, and have you tried this? And like, okay, not exactly setting the world on fire. We talked a lot about our dogs, like growing up with dogs. I didn't have a dog at the time, but yeah, I didn't even have a dog. So like, I don't know what you think this like big reveal is gonna be about the dog I do not own. We talked about like sisters. I also don't have a fucking sister. Like, we talked about like just chit-chatty things. I wasn't like, so one day I killed a guy in Reno just to watch him die. Never came up. So I said, this is a big nothing burger of something you're gonna sell. First of all, if you're gonna sell it to 3 people, that's not an exclusive for any one of them. No one's gonna take that deal. No one's gonna buy something that 2 other people have already bought and say it's an exclusive. So that's how I know all of this is a lie. There are no other buyers because these texts are a nothing burger. They're nothing. You were just trying to extort me for $10,000. And she basically admits it. She's like, there's nothing you can do to me. I live in India. 12 hours later, someone who you wouldn't really want to meet knocked on her door in India because I can get to anyone. And that's what I wanted her to know. I can find you. You're not safe. You're not safe. You're not safe. People trolling me or being on like Reddit boards, thinking they're hiding behind a username. My team found these people in 20 fucking minutes. You want to see me dismantle someone? Go to my Instagram, ShallonXO, and the story highlights. Click on the one that says trolls. I expose someone who's trolling, and she literally looks like a troll. And it was like one of the greatest times of my life. It was so much fun. I love doing it. So what is the point here? What's the lesson? You have to be crazier. You have to demonstrate that whatever you think you're gonna do to me, it will pale in comparison to what I'm going to do to you. And it doesn't have to mean I make your boss think you're a prostitute or I have one of my henchmen show up at your door. It doesn't have to mean that. It can mean It can be something like what Taylor Swift is doing, although I would not be surprised if she sent a henchman to Blake Lively's room. Whoa. It's like a Mossad, like a Chinook helicopter full of Mossad agents, just like touching down in wherever Blake lives, upstate New York. No fucking thank you. Nope. Stay away from Taylor. You need to demonstrate crazy. But let's say you don't want to be crazy. What is the through line of both of my experiences? Let him. Same with the businessman my old company was trying to extort. He's like, fucking publish them, do it. I don't care. I don't care. See, blackmail and extortion, it's predicated on you caring. If you don't care, if you're like, shoot the hostage, I don't care. I don't care. Caterina Sforza, who went up against the Medici family, the Borgia family. They took her son hostage. And she's like, kill him. I can have 10 more sons. She grabbed her vag, lifted up her skirt, grabbed her vag. She's like, see this? I can give 10 more sons this world. Fucking kill him. And the Borgia family, this was in like Renaissance Italy, they looked at each other, and those people were psychotic. They looked at each other and they're like, what the fuck? What did she just say? And they're like, just have him back. I think they cut off his ear or something. They're like, just, dude, she is unhinged. She won because she's crazy. When you say, I don't care about the outcome, leak the text, call my boss, tell my mom, whatever, you negate their threats. The worst thing you can do, please know this, is give in to their demands. America has a policy that we don't negotiate with terrorists. This is our policy. We don't negotiate with terrorists. We don't do it. Nope. Because we know we are the greatest military power in the world. We know that you give an inch, they're going to take a mile. It will never stop. The demands will keep going. It will never stop. They will bleed you dry. And I've always remembered that. I'm like, listen, if this is America's policy, it's going to be my policy. We didn't get here by being stupid. And I want that to be your policy as well. I am not negotiating with you. But Shallon, if I don't, they're going to tell my boss. They're going to tell my dad. Let them. Let them. Okay? Chances are they're going to do it anyway. I mean, that is the ugly truth. Like, maybe Blake Lively wouldn't have done that. Like, maybe if Taylor given in, she would have been like, all right, fine. Like, okay. But a lot of times they shoot the hostage anyway. They leak the text, they post the nudes, they do whatever. They send it to your family, whatever. They do it anyway. Are you going to be able to look yourself in the eye? And the answer might be like, yeah, you know what? I was willing to pay to keep from hurting my family, but you're always going to be looking over your shoulder, you know? I think what you need to spend your time doing, instead of trying to appease whoever this threatening person is I want you to lay on the floor and I want you to put on some relaxing classical music and I want you to get good with death. And I don't mean actual death, but maybe I want you to get good with the worst case scenario. The worst case scenario, they tell your dad. They send that sex tape to your dad, okay? Worst case scenario. They tell your boss that you've been stealing, okay? And you have to majorly face the music. When White Lotus was just on, I almost did a video about this and I wanted to, and I just kind of ran out of time. The family, the Ratliffs, Piper, no. I'm always like, I love my scents. They were my favorite. I was rooting for them. And I love Saxon. I'm such a Saxon apologist. I love Saxon. Even his most douchey, I'm like, I love you. I see you and I know you and I've had sex with you. I love the Saxon. With the dad, who was like, if you haven't seen it, he's like, he was embezzling or defrauding. He was doing something and it was all caving in on him, right? Like, and he was holding it all in. He's like, I can't let the family know, blah, 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 blah. If you're doing something shady, and maybe that's what this threat is, like, hey, this is coming back to bite me in the ass. I have been stealing for my job. I have been fucking my friend's boyfriend. Like, when you're doing these crimes, mentally already come up with a worst case scenario plan. And because it blew my mind in this show that like you didn't have like a whole bunch of offshore money. You didn't have another passport. You didn't have a vanish into like an unextradition territory kind of plan. Dude, just okay. And even if the plan is an explanation, maybe it's deniability. Those texts aren't real. Or like, yeah, I said that. I was having a bad day. Do you want any of your texts leaked? Like, we made a sex tape. It was an intimate moment between two people. I trusted him. Who among us has only trusted the right people, right? None of y'all have ever trusted the wrong man, the wrong friend. Sorry. Be willing to take the L. Be willing to take the L, to face up the consequences and just deal with it. Just deal with it. I fucked up. I stole. I lied. I did this. And listen, girl, that's if whatever they're threatening you with, you are like guilty of and it's bad. Like it's something bad you were actively doing. You were stealing, you were lying, you were talking shit. If they're threatening you with something that's like, I took a nude, or hey, I'm on OnlyFans and my family doesn't know, everything has a spin. Everything has a spin. Yeah, I'm on OnlyFans. And you know what I'm doing with the money? I'm paying off my house. I'm sorry if you guys don't like it. Mom, Dad, I'm sorry if I'm a disappointment. This is how I've chosen to live my life. Sorry. Sorry, boss, I'm a prostitute on company time. You learned your lesson, didn't you, girl? Yeah. You can fuck my boyfriend all you want. You don't try to fuck me. You cannot negotiate with these people. You cannot give in to them because it won't ever stop. And maybe with just that one person, it does. I believe in energetic output and bounce back. That's literally what quantum physics is. It's equal and opposite reactions. What you put out, you get back, right? You put out bad vibes, you get back bad vibes. I believe when you put out capitulation, rolling over, weakness, giving in, I believe you keep getting it back. Because now the vibe you're putting out into the world is that you're a target. You're not a predator, you're prey. And you don't feel especially proud of yourself. And there is someone else out there, some predator who's gonna smell that on the wind. And they're gonna know you're an easy target. Because that's what bullies do. That's the magical power of a bully, is this laser focus, this bloodhound-like ability to seek out a weakling. And that weakling might not look the way you think. And the strong person might come in a small little package. The strong person might be a stay-at-home mom who goes to church 3 times a week, but you don't fuck with her, right? And the weakling might be 6'3", 220. But a predator will be able to tell the difference. That's their whole deal. And if you chronically give in to people who are threatening you, you start to believe that you're worth threatening. You start to believe you're an easy target. You stop thinking that if someone comes against you, you're going to defend yourself because look at the data. No, you won't. No, you won't. No, you won't. You're also going to tell yourself, I cannot face the music in my life. I couldn't in this one category. I can't do it. And when that girl, when that dumb, ugly bitch was blackmailing me about my ex, I mean, yeah, I was like, I don't want people to know that I was dating someone who cheated on me. Like I said, everything has a spin. That's not my victim narrative. That's a champion narrative. It's like, you know what? That was incredibly painful and horrible, but I got smarter from it and I got stronger. And at the end of the day, I'm thrilled that that came out because now I was already not that happy in the relationship and I didn't really have anything to like peg it to. Great. I'm done now. Amazing. There's a spin for everything because we never lose. We win or we learn, don't we? But if you're giving in over and over again, you're going to tell yourself, I don't have the ability to stand up and face the music and stand in my truth, even if it's an ugly one, and say, you know what? I will handle whatever comes at me. But I'm being honest, okay? And I will take whatever the consequences are, good or bad, I'm going to take them. And guess what, girl? If you have that attitude, I can't stand up, I can't do it, I can't do it. If you have it in one category, guess what? You've got it in all of them. You're not going to stand up to the guy you're dating when he's being rude. You're not going to ruin family dinner. You're not going to go for that promotion. You're not going to get off the couch and change your life. You're not going to do it. You're not going to do it. You're not going to do it. Because look, when the chips were down and when it really mattered, you didn't. In the big example of when you needed to do this, you couldn't. So you think you're gonna do it all the time, all day long? I'm gonna stand up for myself. No, you won't. No, you won't. That is what your internal psyche is telling you. No, you won't. We've got the data to prove it. You didn't. When it counted, you rolled over. Okay? So don't sit in the car and have this imaginary conversation with your best friend because she's like being rude to you. You're not gonna say anything. You're not gonna say anything, Cheryl. Just sit down. And that is a brutal thing when you lose faith in yourself. Let everyone around you lose faith in you. Let them say, wow, I can't believe you did that. I can't believe you're on OnlyFans. I can't believe you sent those pictures. I can't believe you said that in a text. Well, you know what? Was that the best choice? Maybe not. But I am woman enough to stand up and face the music. Take whatever may come from it. And I am doing this from a place not of like, oh, I'm so guilty and I need to be punished. I need to be punished and whipped for this in the town square. No, I am willing to face the music on things from a place not of like, ooh, like Catholic guilt or something. Deep trust in myself. I know I can spin this in a way where I've learned from it, right? Like I'm not talking about like for the public, like for myself. I know I can learn from this. I know I can roll with whatever the consequences are. God's got my back. I've got my own back. I'm a resilient, resourceful person. And you know what? Yeah, maybe all of this needed to come to a head. Maybe my family needed to know that I'm on OnlyFans. Maybe my boyfriend needed to know that I've got a crush on my coworker. Maybe this is exactly where something is supposed to go. And I wonder if Taylor Swift sat there and thought that about Blake. You know what, bitch? I am thrilled that you're extorting me because I've been wanting to be done with you and put the nail in that coffin. I can't see one more fan pull up for you. No. Maybe she is thrilled, hurt, heartbroken, disgusted, insulted, bully activated. But on some level, the relief. And again, if you watched White Lotus, that was that arc. Relief. Monsters live in the dark and they prey in the dark. And when we are willing enough to throw light on something, it's probably not that big of a deal anyway. I will also add that depending on what this extortion is, like, you know, however big this gets, tattle. 100% tattle. Go to the cops, go to your boss, like get out in front of it if you can. If for no other reason, there's a paper trail. And this is going to be better for your reputation if you're like, listen, I was taking this so seriously. I went to the police. Like, this person's been threatening me with my nudes. And if they send them to my dad, I'd be like, Dad, like, I have been talking to the police about this, okay? This is not like an insignificant little thing that's been happening in my life. This is the gravity of it. And that, I think, really speaks to your character. And the fact that you aren't just gonna roll over. You're gonna enlist help. You're not gonna suffer in silence. You're not just gonna get scammed and let it go. Because you're not prey. And sometimes, the only way people know that is when they get bit. Let me know what you guys think. Is Blake, please, I can't. I'm just so excited. I'm so thrilled. Okay, we're gonna be back next time. I'm gonna do a video on what to do when a friend betrays you. Trish. I love you guys. Like I said, if you are going through it, if you just need some friends, if you need a girl gang, we got you. Come to the Shalon Trush. It's an amazing, warm, incredibly supportive place. Girls come, they don't leave. Like, we've had, like, our crew just keeps growing. And yeah, it's one of my favorite things to check in on the group chats and laugh and get life advice and hear other people's rants and just connect and feel less alone in the world like an alpha female. Plus, there's 5 videos a week. Everything from Evil Monday to Fuckboy Friday, Slutty Saturday, and a whole bunch of good pep talks and advice and yes, crying in between. All right, girls, I'll see you next time. I love you. Mwah!